What up, what up, what up? What's good, people? What is up? What is up? They went from the fourth level of hell and sent us down to the seventh level of hell. Why? Because then you got Kwanzaa pulling out her titties. The whore pulled out her titties. And these whore bags over here started feeling and fondling on her tits. What?
I don't have it to do with you. Girl, you can go over there, rant and rave. Girl, you can shake all your rainbow bright hair all you want, dear one. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I don't have nothing to do with you, and I'm done. Baby, you can scream my name from the rooftops from now till Jesus come back. I'm done after this.
Introduced to Tick's meat. Do you see what I see? Did y'all really hello, casting, wardrobe, y'all let him roll up out of wardrobe with these pants on, giving us all of this, thinking we were not going to see it? We have been waiting with bated breath and anticipating all season long for the slightest glimpse, and y'all just put it out there this episode in all of its magnificent glory.
Listen, that young man said, baby, you ate on this first date, you giving up the cooch on the first date, okay? Well, you gonna run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. That's our new theme song. That is the new song. Listen, somebody need to put a beat to that. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. That's what y'all got going on.
Called out Sandcastle. Sand, bitch. Ow. Oh my God, it was so funny, girl. Woo, baby, listen, let me tell you something. This shit started to turn into the precursor for some gay porn. That's what I thought it was. Because Big T is getting all, the voice starting to go deeper and get a little more wet and moist and sentimental and all this shit. And it was real gay at this point. Like, I thought the bitches was going to, I thought Lil Bird was going to turn Big T around and do him like he did Uncle Cliff and do the grease it up with City Lou and ran right in there. It's not a coincidence that Big T started off the conversation by trying to find out if Lil Bird was fucking Mercedes, which he found out he's not. It's also not a coincidence that he would start talking about prison. Why? Because the bitches was probably fucking in prison. Girl. Uncle Clifford, you better go get your man. Big T got plans for that. Well, he had it on look like something Big Bird vomited up or something like that. Like, I did not like it. That Big Bird couture he was going for, it did not work. Like the pastor of a gay mega church on Easter Sunday. Okay, it was way too much sequins. He had way too much makeup. Baby, his face looked like Yana Van Zam's neckline. Okay, just way too much makeup clumped here everywhere on his face. Get it together, sweetheart. Like, you're a big girl, so that gives you a whole lot of canvas. So that was a whole lot of makeup, honey. And Rico looked like he was auditioning to be one of the three kings, or he was auditioning to be the main character on Jesus Christ Superstar. Girl, Wayne, did you have on a blue thong or a blue G-string or something? If you did, I want to see Cassie. Get me up in my DMs, I do want to see if you have a blue thong or a blue, jock strap, something like that. I'd love to see it. Anyway, but I liked it with the turtleneck. Now, Troy.
All right. I think we are ready. Hey. That looks a little too blurry. I should have cleaned it off. Every time I do this, I have to clean off this damn camera. Get on my damn nerves. What's going on, y'all? Yeah, one of my members or mods put in the members only chat that I am live. We have to remind these people down to the members only chat. Y'all make sure y'all share this out, like the video, share it out, share it on your social medias, especially today. Y'all know when we do politics of it all, we have good news and well, it ain't always good, but we have important, I should say, information to share. And so it's always pertinent that if any live you share out, it's the politics of it all lives. What's going on, y'all? Whew. Let me sit down and say hey to you all appropriately. Oh, God. Let's see what we got going on. All right. That looks a lot better. All right. Hey. Hey, Tracy W, Tracy C, Lovely 31 Blueprint, Jason. Why is there always fluids on my list? It's not fluids. It's like fingerprints and stuff. Because I use my phone when I go live. And so, you use your phone a lot. And so the camera is front facing. So it's the actual part that you tell. I'm not going through all this with you, Jason. God, what am I explaining all this for? Child, I wouldn't be getting fluids on my phone though. Mm. Anyway, what is going on, good people? What is going on, good people? Um, so hey, Diamond Pearl Gem. I know I'm not gonna be on here long, and I know I say that so long so much. And then I'll be on here 2 hours. But my goal is to be on here until no later than 6:15. 6:15 is the goal. We hope that we can make the goal of 6:15. Why does hat feels like it's off? I don't know. Whatever. 6:15 is the goal. Um, all right. So listen, y'all. The dossier is packed today. It's the politics of it all. I was going to do another expose on Dwight Howard because everybody wants to be a Johnny come lately. But y'all know how I get about these stories. I love Be True Red. Y'all know how I get about these stories. When there's too many people covering it and too much traction, I I end up not wanting to do it and I get pissed off about it and I be like, nah, I'm not doing it. So that's why I'm not covering the Dwight Howard. I might later on, but these people don't know the whole history, the background. We chronicled the history and background of Dwight Howard on this channel. We've done whole lives about it. So there's no need for it to, there's no need for us to really rehash that. Just saying. So I won't. Anyway, um, let's get to some politics, y'all. It's a lot going on. Yesterday, I started to do a politics, but it just wasn't a lot in the politics news cycle yesterday. But today, these people done came out the woodwork. They done came out. They done said, "Listen, we are here for all of it, and we're holding nothing back." Hey, Lemon Kush, child. Dwight ain't wilding out. Dwight is doing what Dwight been doing for a long time. Dwight is not new to this. He's true to this. Dwight ain't new to the whole, Rainbow Coalition. Now he hangs out back there in the we got a bunker back there in the back recesses of the G corridor. In the way back, we have a whole corridor for the G section, okay? So in the Rainbow Coalition compound corridor G section, when you hit the back door that takes you out to the back acres of the compound, we have a bunker back there that you can access either underground or through the back door. You go through the back door and you go to the literal door where the bunker is. You need the key. You have to swipe your key card. But if you use your key card to come in the front door in the middle of the night when nobody's really looking, and then there's access to it where nobody can really see you. So there's a whole, there's a bevy of athletes, politicians, and individuals that hang out in the, corridor back. No, they ain't in the B. I guess it could be between the B and the G, but let's be clear. It's really probably between the G and the T. If we really want to be clear, most of that bunker sits between the G and the T because they like to go between those two corridors. Let's be clear. They don't want no parts of the L corridor and really faking the phone, talking about them. The true G corridor, hey Spicy Original, is real small. The real card carrying key card members of the B corridor, it really ain't that many. It really ain't that many. They might tell y'all one thing, or it may say on the key card that it's a B access. But girl, when they roll up to the compound and they come on in this good compound with us, we know which corridor it accesses. It don't have no access to the B corridor. They access goes to the G corridor. Let's be clear. That includes the people who say they have access to the P as in pan corridor. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. Anyway, um, yeah, child, yes, child, girl, child. Anyway, you know what? Let me get this out of the way now. Let's bring up our boy, our friend, may he rest in peace. Ladies and gentlemen, non-gender conforming members of our audience, I bring to you your sugar spike moment.
Oh, God. You see, this is the part that I like.
Major sugar spike.
So love the world. I want to fight. That he gave his only begotten son.
Major sugar spike.
And shall ever believe
Major sugar spike.
they shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
Taste the biscuit.
Um, who is that? Diamond Pearl Jim. You keep his time. Diamond Pearl Jim. Remind me when it gets 6:10, so I know we got 5 minutes left. Hall monitor says I'm getting out of here at 6:15. Late bell is at 5:25. At 5:26, today's essay is going to be 9,000 words. 9,000 word essay today. 9,000. APA format. Stop playing with a real G. Late bell is at 5:25. We'll have this kind of time. Waiting for to be here all day, waiting for these people. Late bell is at 5:25. I said it with my chest. Yeah. What am I eating? I went back to my unicorns from Dollar General. Anyway, so listen, y'all. Y'all see, I went to eating on the candy because we got some spiky stories over here, okay? Okay. So, hey Cams, hey Boo. Hey Boo. Cams is not late yet. Cams, you ain't late yet. Late bell is at 5:25. You made it just under the wire. Anyway, so y'all's boy, Derek Chauvin. Yes, that Derek Chauvin. Hey, Miss Trisha P. I don't even think I said hey to you. That Derek Chauvin, the same Derek Chauvin who murdered George Floyd. So after failing to make any headway with Minnesota's highest court, Derek Chauvin plans to head to the United States Supreme Court to appeal his 2021 conviction. CBS Minnesota reports that lawyers for Derek Chauvin said Wednesday that they filed documents asking the nation's highest court to review Chauvin's second-degree murder conviction after the Minnesota Supreme Court released a one-page order Tuesday declining to hear the appeal. The Supreme Court's decision means that Chauvin must continue serving his 22.5-year prison sentence. Why he still don't have life in prison is beyond my level of comprehension. But that's a whole nother story. Oh yes, Cams. Let's not forget about the tax evasion as well. Anyway, um, I don't need to go any further. Now, do I think the United States Supreme Court will pick this up? The United States Supreme Court gets up thousands every year, like close to 7 or 8 thousand cases a year. The United States Supreme Court receives. However, they usually only pick up roughly about 100, maybe 125, somewhere around there. I think on a good year they may get up to 150, but they usually hear around 100, 125 cases. So with thousands, they ain't got this type of time. They have no reason, no precedent, no anything. Now, I say that I don't think that they will. However, comma, if you see them even touch this case, if you see them even touch this case, because in all actuality, this is not a case that should be adjudicated at their level. It's already been adjudicated. It went to the highest court of Minnesota. There's no reason for them to pick this up. None. However, if you see these bastards even touch this case, go anywhere near this case, what that means is that these people are trying to send a message that fuck y'all and fuck all y'all black asses. Let's just be clear. Please know we're here for all parts of the genocide of black people that has been going on for hundreds of years now. We're here for all of it. Now, they pretty much told us that with this affirmative action ruling. They pretty much been telling us this over and over and over again, reminding us that, we ain't here for you people. We're not here for minorities. We ain't here for you black people. We ain't here for none of y'all asses. They told us that over and over and over. However, I'm just telling you, if they even sniff this case, touch this case, they're doing it for a reason. I'm telling you what I know. But I would venture to guess they're not going to touch it. Just like the Minnesota Supreme Court said, we ain't got no time for this and we don't want no parts of this. The United States Supreme Court, I don't think they would go that far yet. I'm not saying that day ain't coming, but I don't think they're that far yet. Yet is the operative word here. Y'all let me, those legal experts out there, y'all let me know what y'all think. I don't think they're at that point yet. So have y'all been following the case of this young black man who goes by the name of Travis King? Have y'all been following this? The soldier over there in Korea. Let me read this to you. Hey, Sweet Pea. Okay, Travis King, black boy. Okay, a U.S. soldier who crossed into North Korea while on a tour group after escaping military detention was laughing as he fled over the inter-Korean border, according to media reports. U.S. and Korean officials identified the soldier as Private Second Class Travis King, according to CBS News. King, 23 years old. Hey, Volvo. King, who is 23 years old, was being held in custody by South Korea at the airport in Incheon, near Seoul, and in the process of being expelled when he fled. After passing through the airport security, he unexpectedly joined a tour group to the Korean border village of Panmunjom, a popular tourist spot inside the 248 kilometer long demilitarized zone, or DMZ. A member of the tour later told CBS that King, who was reported to be in civilian clothes, gave gave out a loud ha 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 and just runs in between some buildings. Pentagon officials said that UN command security forces who had been escorting the tour group chased King, who is from Racine, Wisconsin, but could not catch him. hmm Young man had jets on him. Admiral John Aquilino, the head of U.S. Indo-Pacific Command, confirmed that an Army private made a run across the demilitarized zone in the joint security area. He was picked up by the North Koreans, according to NBC News. The U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said during a news conference on Tuesday that King had entered North Korea, quote, intentionally and without authorization. He went on to say, "There's a lot that there's a lot that we're still trying to learn. But what we do know is that one of our service members who was on a tour willfully and without authorization crossed the military demarcation line." End quote. And that's what General Lloyd Austin said. I'm sorry, Secretary Lloyd Austin now said. Austin said King was probably now in North Korean custody. The United States State Department spokesperson said that the department, quote, has not reached out to the North Koreans or other governments on the matter, end quote. Adam Smith, a senior Democrat on the House Armed Services Committee, told CNN that North Korea's detention of a U.S. soldier posed a serious diplomatic problem since the U.S. and North Korea do not maintain diplomatic relations. Quote, if a U.S. soldier is held in North Korea, our priority must be securing his return, end quote. A tourist from New Zealand who was in King's group told the Associated Press that upon the end of their tour, their group was sort of milling around while being watched by South Korean and American soldiers. The tourist said soldiers on the North Korean side seemed to be inside a building. She then noticed a man running what looked like full gas toward the North Korean side. It is not clear that King, 23, who was scheduled to return to Fort Bliss, Texas, wants to return to U.S. soil. He was released from 2 months detention on assault charges, including damaging a police car on July 10th, and could face additional military disciplinary actions and discharge from the service on his return to the U.S., according to the Associated Press. King's uncle Carl Gates told the Daily Beast that the soldier was, quote, breaking down, end quote, over a family tragedy. Gates explained that his son, King Nazir, had struggled with a rare genetic condition, SPTLC2, before dying from the disease in February at age 6. This is what the uncle said, quote, when my son was on life support and when my son passed away, Travis started being reckless and crazy, and when he knew my son was about to die, it seemed like he was breaking down. It affected Travis a lot, end quote. Child, the grandma out here, here's what the grandma had to say. Grandma said, quote, I can't see him doing that intentionally if he was in his right mind. Travis is a good guy. He wouldn't do nothing to hurt nobody, and I can't see him trying to hurt himself. This, listen, listen. Y'all see what's going on? Bro was about to get discharged. Okay, bro was about to deal with all kinds of what do they call it? MPA, military police, or whatever, MPs or whatever they call them. Mm. Ooh, that candy so good. He was about to get got. Okay, he saw an opening. Baby, y'all messed up. See, my thing about it is this: if y'all were about to transport him back to Texas so that he could go and face whatever disciplinary actions, why didn't y'all just go ahead and do that? Y'all should have had him in custody of military police, sent his ass on a plane back to Texas, and put him in custody. Y'all wanted to be cute with it. He got lost among some tourists. The tourists, and then as the tourists were going into the DMZ, the demilitarized zone, he saw his opening. Oh, that's the border right there, and hit it, hit them jets. They tried to run after him. Nah, bruh, that's a 23-year-old black man on the run. He hit them jets and got it. He hit it. They couldn't catch him. Now here's the problem. Um, Here's the problem. You went over to the wrong place. You might have went over there from the from the frying pan to the fire. But North Korea clearly could go out here and make a whole example of him and have your ass strung out somewhere because Kim Jong Un and his band of merry fucks over there want to make an example to the U.S. You see, these fuckers are all about, you know, the show. They're all about a three-ring circus. They're all about look at me, look at me, look at me. Kim Jong Un is about that life. Okay, he at least once or twice a quarter is always shooting some missile into the northern Japanese Sea or whatever the body of water is over there. He's always firing off nuclear weapons and all kinds of shit. Talk about he practiced it. He's about that life. Even though the U.S. said, bruh, you don't need to be doing that. He said, fuck you. I don't care. I'm gonna do it anyway. And what you gonna do about it? So you think that them having a military soldier in their custody, you think that they're not going to use you as a pawn? Bruh, they probably going to find a way to find some U.S. military fatigues to put them on you just so they could have you on full display to show that their balls are bigger than ours because they want to make a whole point. They want it to look like, oh, y'all got the most powerful military in the world. Then how we end up with one of y'all soldiers? Oh, y'all want him back? Come get him. You know, Kim Jong Un is about this life. Right, Diamond Pearl Jim. He shoots rockets off all the time. Baby, listen. He shoots rockets off. He shoots a rocket off almost more than a good 13, 14-year-old shoots his rockets off every morning. Because he shoots them off all the time. That's what you do when you're a dictator and you want to, you know, get fame and notoriety. Here and then here go the family talk about, oh, he was a good boy. One of the parts from the family said his family described King as a quiet loner who did not drink or smoke and enjoyed reading the Bible. Girl. I know that was the grandma who said that. Girl, I'm looking at y'all like, girl. Bro hit it. He thought he was gonna run away in a foreign country. Baby, you ran to the wrong place, honey. They finna make a whole ass example out of you. Remember, wasn't it North Korea where the little white boy vandalized or snatched down that poster, and they had his ass in jail all that time. And then when they brought it, they finally brokered whatever deal to bring his ass back. Then he died right soon as they brought him back because his ass was holding on, barely holding on within inches of life. And that was a civilian. Bitch, what you think they finna do with you? Girl, boom. He better be glad he didn't get shot dead. A mess. A mess. That's a whole mess. Mm-mm, mm-mm. It's a mess. The mama said, her name is Claudine Gates. So the mama said, the best and brightest get stationed in Korea and Japan. They stay effing up international child. As I was a good girl, but 2 blocks from home, I was right. Everybody, let your parents and your grandparents tell the baby you were the best thing since sliced bread, baby. When you turn that good block, baby. The mama said, quote, she was shocked by the news. She said, quote, I can't see Travis doing anything like that, end quote. Girl, boom. Adding that she heard from her son several days ago, and he told her that he would be returning to his base in Fort Bliss. So he just started running on his own. People trying to run and get his ass, and he done, evaded them. Girl, boom. Girl. King seems to be the first U.S. soldier to defect to North Korea since 1962, when James Dresnock, who was facing court-martial for taking an unauthorized overnight leave, walked across the heavily fortified border to the north. This apparent defection presents a headache for U.S. officials and comes amid tense relations between the two Koreas and between Washington and Pyongyang. On Tuesday, the USS Kentucky, a nuclear-powered submarine, arrived at South Korea's Busan Naval Base. Girl, Travis, you about to have us going the whole goddamn World War III because you over here being stupid. Girl, you did it. You go ahead and face the music, okay? Go ahead and face the music. Just a mess. Child, I had to bring that to you. I thought y'all would have had to heard about that story. I heard about that story, I think, what's today? Thursday, maybe Tuesday. Tuesday, I think I heard about it Tuesday. Anyway, child, we'll keep you posted. Child, Travis, child, yeah, he black. He is black. Yes, you ain't even gotta ask. He is black. In more spiky news, a Texas worker who was being accused of being on drugs was actually dying of heat stroke. The mother of Gabriel Infante, who was 24 years old, sues the employer for $1 million, saying construction workers had no protection from extreme heat. The mother of a 24-year-old worker who died from heat stroke while working for a construction firm in San Antonio, Texas, has filed a lawsuit against his employer. Gabriel Infante was working for BCom Constructors in San Antonio, Texas on June 23rd, 2023, digging in the hot summer sun to move internet fiber optic cables, a job he had recently started with a childhood best friend while they were finishing college. The lawsuit comes after Texas's Republican Governor Greg Abbott signed a controversial bill into law on June 14th that prohibits local municipalities from enacting heat protection standards for construction workers. This is the third world ass country we're living in. Let me read that again for the people in the back so y'all can hear this third world ass country shit that we live in. You hear me? The lawsuit comes after Republican Governor Hot Wheels Greg Abbott signed a controversial bill into law on June 14th that prohibits local municipalities from enacting heat protection standards for construction workers. So now there are laws on the books that says that local municipalities aren't allowed to tell construction companies, y'all got to have some water out here for these people. Y'all got to get them breaks from out the sun. Y'all got to, this is what y'all got going on in this third world ass country and this fuck shit of a country that y'all got going on. A mess. Let me keep going. The bill nullifies ordinances previously passed in Austin and Dallas that mandated 10-minute breaks for workers every 4 hours. A similar ordinance was being considered in San Antonio before the state bill passed. According to the lawsuit, Infante began exhibiting heat stroke symptoms, including confusion, altered mental state, dizziness, and loss of consciousness. His friend and co-worker Joshua Espinoza began pouring cold water over him, trying to cool him down. A foreman insisted Espinosa call the police, claiming Infante's bizarre behavior was due to drugs, and the foreman pushed for a drug test when emergency medical services arrived. I'm not making this up, y'all. This is real. This is real. On the day of the incident, temperatures in San Antonio reached in excess of 100 degrees Fahrenheit, with humidity levels reaching as high as 75%, noted in the lawsuit. Infante later died in a hospital from severe heat stroke and had a recorded internal temperature of 109.8 degrees Fahrenheit. Let me say that again. 109.8 degrees Fahrenheit. The CDC states a body temperature of 103 degrees Fahrenheit or higher is a main symptom of heat stroke. Here's what the mom had to say. Quote, nobody called me. It was Joshua's mom who called me to tell me I needed to get a hold of Joshua because Gabriel had an accident. To this day, I have never ever gotten a phone call from the owner of the company to offer his condolences for my son's death or an I'm sorry or nothing like that. I mean, of course it doesn't make a difference, but I mean, it's the gesture. To this day, no, I'm sorry, Mrs. Infante, for your loss. Nothing. End quote. Since her son's death, Infante said she panics and suffers from anxiety if her kids don't return phone calls right away. I'm sure she does. The mother went on to say, quote, we have difficult days. I have difficult days. When I go out in public, I put on a different face because when I get home, it's all there waiting for me. It just consumes me. I don't sleep. I cry, I eat, and I eat junk food. I don't understand how they can allow these people to work out in this type of heat. I've seen so many deaths already in different fields that you start to think, what are these companies thinking? End quote. That's the gist of the story. Listen. Now, I'm sorry. It gets better. If you want to call this better. Quote, and this is coming from the best friend Joshua Espinosa. He didn't even get his first he didn't even get to see his first paycheck. My friend Gabe is the epitome of why this bill is ridiculous. It's important for us not to go backward, to learn from our mistakes. It's blatant process over people. Greg Abbott doesn't care about workers at all. End quote. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration proposed a fine of $13,052 against the construction firm for failing to protect workers from heat hazards on the job, which the company is contesting. Let me tell you something. $13,052 is a drop in the bucket. One of their CEOs or one of their C suites can pull that out of his pocket. That's not going to make them change. Now, maybe if you said 13 million, maybe that might be a fine that may make them go, okay, we need to take this seriously. But you finding them $13,000 is not going to make them do anything. That's what y'all got going on in this third world ass country we call these yet to be United States of America. A mess. That's a whole ass mess. That right there is a mess. But you got Governor Hot Wheels over there passing laws. Governor Hot Wheels is over there passing laws, telling people, we don't care about you. We don't care if you die of heat stroke. We don't care. The foreman said that he thought the man was on drugs and tried to force the emergency people to freaking drug test him. Girl, boom. Child. They probably spend more than money than that on their side chick. A mess. Do y'all want me to go over the? I'm saving my feature presentation for just a moment, but let me go over this story right here. Kevin McCarthy. I could just stop right there because mentioning his name evokes, irritable bowel syndrome. This morning, there were reports out saying that Kevin McCarthy and Donald Trump had brokered a deal where Kevin McCarthy would expunge the impeachment records. So now Kevin McCarthy has to come out, and I have every reason to believe you and Donald Trump probably did have a conversation about that, and you wanted that shit to slide under the radar and nobody find out. But the people found out because y'all can't hold water over there in Washington, D.C. Y'all can't hold water. Anything that happens, it gets leaked. Let's be clear. So now Kevin McCarthy is denying making a promise to former President Donald Trump that the House would vote to expunge his impeachments, shooting down a report that said the GOP leader pledged the vote as a way to temper tensions with the former president. Quote, there is no deal, but I've been very clear from long before when I voted against impeachments that they did it for purely political purposes. End quote. He went on to say, I support expungement, but there's no deal out there. Then why would you talking out of both sides of your neck, Kevin McCarthy? I support it. He says, I've been against it from the beginning. Now I support expungement, but it ain't no deal out there. I told you he's mad because it got leaked. And so since it got leaked, he wanted to be the one that pulled the trigger on that and let it be known. But since it got leaked ahead of time, now he's got to try to backpedal, pussy pop off of it and make it like, oh no, I didn't have a deal with Donald Trump. I didn't make a deal to expunge the whole 2 impeachments that happened to him. No. Although I am in favor of it, although I said from the beginning they shouldn't be doing it, giving headway for when you see them come. Now y'all, as if they just gave you the idea to do it now, as if this really wasn't something that y'all had, a deal that y'all had brokered already. Girl, I can't. Once again, these troglodytes are trying to rewrite history. They're doing everything in their power to rewrite history. We'll get there in just a second for our feature presentation. But so they want to make it as if the two impeachments never happened, obviate them from the records. This is what y'all got going on. This is exactly what y'all got going on in these yet to be United States of America. A mess. A mess. Child, he's just trying to clean it up. That's all he's trying to do. Clean it up. You ain't shit. The entirety of the goddamn House of Representatives. I told you, that shit is yeehaw fucking junction. It's a fucking three-ring circus over there with all of the fucking circus freaks over there in the fucking House of Representatives. Look who the fuck we had yesterday. Let me tell you how crazy this is. Yesterday on the floor of the, not on the floor, I'm sorry. She was in committee. They were in committee. Let me take that back. Let me get it factual. They were in committee yesterday and they were interviewing 4 whistleblowers from, I believe it was the FBI. This bitch, Marjorie Taylor Greene, had big, you know how when they want to make a point or, you know, do all of these big things, they'll make the big signs, the big placards that show things on the big poster board placards and stuff that illustrate the little point that they're trying to make. This bitch holds up shit. Now they talking about real serious shit that they're whistleblowing on. This bitch brings up the fact that Hunter Biden flew some skank from California to Washington, D.C. or Delaware, wherever he was, back in 16 or 17. Then she shows a picture, a full blown up picture of Hunter Biden butt ass naked, getting either head, because they kind of blurred it out a little bit, but you can kind of make it out, or getting a hand job from said woman saying, oh, this equates to prostitution. And shouldn't you be, you know, coming after him for prosecution? I'm like, what type of fucking circus are y'all running over here? But y'all want to censure people like Ilhan Omar. Y'all want to censure people like Adam Schiff. I ain't the biggest Adam Schiff fan, but he still shouldn't be censured. Damn sure Ilhan Omar shouldn't be thrown off of all her committees and censured only because she's she's a Muslim. They're getting whole way censured, but this fuck bitch is allowed to gallivant all over the floor of the House. In every committee, she's all over the fucking place. The bitch is a fucking loony. No problems with that. She's in the House of Representative chambers, in the committee chambers, holding up pictures of Hunter Biden having sex. Lewd and lascivious pictures right there. This is what we got going on. This is the bullshit. This is the 3 fucking ring circus that Kevin McCarthy is running down there. Because you got all the fucking circus freaks over there. Speaking of another circus freaks, Lauren Boebert, her race over there in Colorado has been downgraded from leaning red to now just a toss-up because Frisk, I think that's his name, Adam Frisk, who ran against her and lost by 524 votes, has already raised 3 times as much money as she has in the last month. Anyway, in our feature presentation today, I'm trying not to spike out because I only got like 20 minutes left. So I'm trying not to spike out. But this story just might do it. Okay. I told y'all I'm trying not to spike out. Trying so hard. I'm trying to get this story to come up. Hold on, y'all. It's raining real bad where I'm at. Like it's thunder and lightning and everything. We got weather going on right now that your grandma would be like, turn off all the lights, turn off all the electronics, turn off the TV, turn off everything. We got that kind of stuff going on right now. God damn it. Trying to get this story to come up. I hope the rain isn't affecting the internet. Put a 27 in the chat if my internet is good so far. Because I hope the rain isn't messing up with my internet. Okay. So in my great state of Florida. Okay, I'm good, good. You driving in this mess, Tanya? Child, stay safe out there, Tanya. Because it's rough out there. I got to be out there in about a good 2 hours. So, um, because I'll be on my way to Tampa to party it up with the greatest fraternity in the world. That's where I'll be this weekend. Anyway, um, in my great state of Florida, the Florida Board of Education has approved new Black History standards. Let me read this for you. The Florida Board of Education, this is from CNN, the Florida Board of Education approved a new set of standards for how Black history should be taught in the state's public schools, sparking criticism from education and civil rights advocates who said students should be allowed to learn the full truth of American history. The curriculum was approved at the board's meeting on Wednesday, in Orlando. It is the latest development in the state's ongoing debate over African American history, including the Education Department's rejection of a preliminary pilot version of an advanced placement African American studies course for high school students, which it claimed lacked educational value. The new standards come after the state passed new legislation under Governor Ron DeSantis that bars instruction in schools that suggests anyone is privileged or oppressed based on their race or skin color. DeSantis has used his fight against wokeness to boost his national profile amid a national discussion of how racism and history should be taught in school. The new standards require instruction for middle school students to include, quote, how slaves developed skills which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit, end quote. A document listing the standard and posted in the Florida Department of Education website said. Let me read that again. Because this is what they're telling teachers to teach about slavery. Quote, y'all pray my strength in the Lord that I don't spike out. Quote, how slaves which developed skills, how slaves developed skills which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit, end quote. Let me keep reading. When high school students learn about events such as the 1920 Ocoee massacre, the new rules require the instruction include, quote, acts of violence perpetrated against and by African Americans, end quote. Notice they put against and by African Americans because they want you to remember that the African Americans attacked the brutal white people. Mind you, these white people were there killing them. They were defending themselves, but y'all have no problems with defending yourselves if it's against us. But if we defend ourselves against y'all, it's a problem. Just like that white lady got out of jail, got her get out of jail free card when she shot the black lady through the door. Just like Trayvon Martin was attacked and murdered by George Zimmerman, the son of two sitting judges. The massacre is considered the deadliest election day violence in U.S. history, and according to several histories of the incident, it started with Moses Norman, a prominent black landowner in a Coe, Florida community, attempted to cast his ballot and was turned away by white poll workers. Similar standards are noted for lessons about other massacres, including the Atlanta the Atlanta race massacre, the Tulsa race massacre, and the Rosewood race massacre. Because for all of the massacres, they want you to note that, oh, you have to teach that the blacks kill people too. I'm trying, y'all, not to spike out. Doing the best I can. Here's a quote from the president and CEO of the NAACP. He put a statement out that said, quote, "Our children deserve nothing less than truth, justice, and the equity our ancestors shed blood, sweat, and tears for. It is imperative that we understand that the horrors of slavery and Jim Crow were a violation of human rights and represent the darkest period in American history." End quote. The director of communications for the Florida Department of Education said in a statement, quote, "We are proud of the rigorous process that the department took to develop these standards. It's sad to see critics attempt to discredit what any unbiased observer would conclude to be in-depth and comprehensive African American history standards. They incorporate all components of African American history, the good, the bad, and the ugly. These standards will further cement Florida as a national leader in education as we continue to provide true and accurate instruction in African American history." End quote. I'm doing everything I can not to take my goddamn laptop and shove this shit against the wall. Listen, y'all. As riveted and entrenched we are in some of the fuck shit that's going on, the Mariah Millses of the world, the Carly Russells of the world, the, is Real Housewives of Atlanta gonna ever have a good episode of the world? We have real shit going on. We have now, hold on. Put a 27 in the chat if you were here when I said on this platform well over a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that Black people would begin to have to take a lesson from our Native American and indigenous brothers and sisters who had their whole history rewritten, who had their whole history erased and or rewritten, and the same thing that happened to them would end up happening to us. And right now, it's happening in real time. They just put these standards out there. From here moving forward, Black students sitting in a classroom, if they're even given the opportunity to learn about these massacres that happened, will be made to feel like the Black people there were just as wrong as the white people that were there. And that is categorically wrong. It's the same as saying when people try to blame a victim of rape for them being raped. That's what you're doing here. You had black people here who set up shop, who built whole communities that were thriving, and because of the lies of usually some white woman, massacres and atrocities happened. You had a black man in a Ocoee who did nothing but exercise the right that he had according to the Constitution of these yet to be United States of America to vote conveniently in 1920 when white women got their rights to vote. And because they didn't want him to vote, they burned and tore down the whole area of Ocoee, which was an affluent black area. Murdered dozens of people. Same thing happened in Rosewood. Murdered dozens of people. Burned whole communities to the ground. There are several lakes across these yet to be United States of America where underneath those lakes are former cities and towns that belong to affluent black people that are now buried under a lake, man-made. But y'all want to change the history and say, oh, make sure you put in there that it wasn't just the white people that were killing. Make sure you put in there that the blacks were murdering and killing people as well. Nothing about them fighting in self-defense. Everything. Make sure you put that in there, because you notice in the whole statement made by this person. Let me make sure I get her title right. God, the director of communications for the Florida Department of Education, said that we're going to make sure we tell the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm sure you're stressing the bad and the ugly and very little on the good, right? we are now about to start to have generations of black children who have no clue where they came from. So and what happens then when you don't know the past, you don't know what to look for. You're going to have a generation of black kids who have no clue what to look for, who have no clue of the microaggressions that white people have done over the years, have no clue of the history behind a whole lot of things that they do that they know you don't know about, but they know all about. They teach all of their children all of the things that they need to do to demonstrate their white privilege, to flex on all parts of their white supremacy, to let a black person know I am above you and you are inferior to me. They teach their kids every way in which to do that. However, I see you, Diamond Pearl Jim. They don't want our kids to know any parts of being able to recognize these things. Not at all. And now it's going to become our responsibility. But look at some of the parents you see today. Look at some of the people you see today. They are much more worried about frivolous things than they are about making sure that the next generation of black people are educated on what their story is. We do have a story to tell. We do have history. This is serious, people. This is real serious. This is real serious. So now there would never be a full picture or depiction of what this country really is and was. So then you're going to have what they're trying to do is they're trying to get our black kids to a point where they feel like, oh, I don't have a reason to be mad. Oh, I don't have a reason to look at white people that way. Oh, white people have never done anything to black people. Why are y'all so upset at these white people? They haven't done anything. There were just as many black people killing white people as there was white people killing black people because they told you the story wrong. And now y'all beat us, get mad because we know the real history and y'all only know the fake history. A mess. A goddamn mess. This is shit we got going on. But you're not going to hear that. You're not going to see this parading being paraded up and down people's timelines. People are more concerned with what Carly Russell's boyfriend look like than they will about the fact that their children now cannot learn the history of their own people. They're more concerned about figuring out how to get the next meme that conflates Jussie and Carly's situation together than they are about they live in states where they could go out and die of fucking heat stroke and there's nothing that can be done about it. With the okay from the actual state government saying we're okay with you dying of fucking heat stroke. God of mercy. God of love. I'm trying not to spike. I'm doing a real good job, y'all, not to spike the hell out. Let me go to the next story, but I had to give y'all that story because yeah, that's happening. Oh, in other spiky news, oh, it's not just about us black people. Oh, Rainbow Coalition, y'all thought they was done with y'all? No, Rainbow Coalition, they still on y'all. They still got they paws on y'all, Rainbow Coalition. Here's the headline: Republican lawmakers are now looking to ban pride flags at Stonewall and other national sites. Let me say that again. Republican lawmakers are looking to ban pride flags at Stonewall and other national sites. Rainbow pride flags might soon be banned at Stonewall National Monument by Republicans in the House of Representatives as they continue to their cuts to target LGBTQ plus funding during the appropriations process. Republicans had earlier proposed additional cuts to LGBTQ plus programs and services in Massachusetts and Pennsylvania. Republicans in a House Interior and Environment Appropriations Subcommittee have introduced a rider that would permit only official flags on government buildings and property. Opponents warned the rider would prevent the pride flag from being flown at the U.S. National Park Service sites like Stonewall National Monument that sits near the Stonewall Inn where the 1969 riots began. The ranking Democrat on the committee, Representative Shelley Pingree of Maine, told E&E News that while the rider did not specifically mention Stonewall or the pride flag, it was clear Republicans were targeting the LGBTQ plus community with their proposed cuts. I quote, I am strongly opposed to any effort to discriminate against the LGBTQ plus community, and as ranking member, I intend to fight this provision, end quote, Pingree said in a statement. House representatives have previously introduced and moved a last-minute amendment stripping 3 community projects of funding during committee markup for the 2024 Transportation, Housing, and Urban Development spending bill. The LGBTQ Senior Housing Incorporated, LGBTQ Senior Housing Incorporated, William Way LGBTQ, let me read that over. LGBTQ Senior Housing Incorporated, William Way LGBT Center, and LGBT Center of Greater Reading were all defunded in yesterday's action. The ranking member of the committee, Connecticut Representative Rosa DeLauro, the ranking Democrat on the committee, called the GOP move one of terrorists. Representative Brendan Boyle, whose Philadelphia area project was defunded, told The Advocate he and many of his colleagues suspect the Republicans just searched for the keyword LGBTQ to see which projects to target. Boyle lost $1.8 million of previously approved funding for the William Way Community Center. Representative Ayanna Pressley of Massachusetts lost $850,000 for an organization that supports LGBTQ plus housing for older Americans, while Pennsylvania Representative Chrissy Houlihan lost $970,000 for an LGBTQ plus center in Reading. Maryland's Republican Representative Andy Harris said the services were targeted because of information he claimed to have found on their websites. Quote, it has social and support groups for 7-year-olds. I guess to groom 7-year-olds. Because why else would you have it? It's not for adults. It's not an adult group. Just a mess. Just a mess. I don't even know if I need to read any further. This is just a goddamn mess. So now you have Congress that is defunding programs for LGBTQ plus services because you have a problem with there being a housing or a center that gives housing for LGBTQ plus elderly people. You people are some sick ass bastards. I see Diamond Pearl Jim. I gave myself a cushion when I said 6:15. I gave myself about a 20 to 30 minute cushion. I knew what I was doing. See, I know myself. But thank you for keeping me honest, Diamond Pearl Jam. Thank you so much. But y'all see what's going on. Um, I had two more stories, but I can forego those stories. Because now we have states like the great state of Montana, who is now refusing to give permits for pride parades if they have drag queens in them. They have been told you can't have a permit for your pride parade if there's a drag queen in it. Yeah, you heard me again. In the great state of Montana, they are being told if you want a permit for your pride parade, you can't have any drag queens in that parade. Oh yes, Jason, we know that the U.S. has money, but they would rather spend money because I loved um, how my girl Summer Lee undressed members of the Pentagon yesterday. I mean, I think it was last week when she got up there and said, "Do y'all know y'all spent over $2 million on Viagra last year? $2 million on Viagra last year. Over $200,000 on snow crab legs. Let me say that again. $2 million on Viagra is what the Pentagon spent last year, and over $200,000 last year on snow crab legs. That's what they spent, and they looking for more money in the budget. But y'all spent over $2 million on Viagra and over $200,000 on snow crab legs. Now my snow crab leg budget is quite high as well, but it ain't $200,000. The other thing that I was going to go over, but I can't. I know I can't do this story because I lose my goddamn mind. I'm barely hanging on to life right now. Um, is that song that Jason Aldean came out with? Try that in a small town where he's standing in front of the very same courthouse where they hung a black man and lynched him out of the window of the second floor after they had drugged him with a car for miles. I don't have to. I don't have it to do because I'll lose my whole goddamn mind on that story. I don't even have it to do. Anyway, y'all, put some Shondos in the chat. I'm about to get out of here. I got some errands I got to go run before I get on the road and go to Tampa. Um, actually, I'm flying. Anyway, I'm about to get out of here. Put some Shondos in the chat, y'all. Somebody put a hashtag ABC in the chat because a bitch just can't. I don't have the bandwidth to go through this whole story with this white man and Jason Aldean. Um, then try that in a small town. You try that shit over here in the hood. You try that shit over in my neighborhood. Y'all come over there with that small town shit. Y'all come over there in our neighborhood with that shit and see how far you get. Y'all better pray this this thing is not getting any better. So anyway, as I always say, I love y'all. I love on y'all. Thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. They are much obliged. They're much appreciated. Y'all know Politics Live. We love this. And so if you want to, you can support the channel here so you can see more programming like the politics of it all. We can keep the lights on around here and keep it going over here. I know I haven't done the politics of it all in a while, so I was glad to do one. I was going to do a story on Nancy Pelosi because I read a good opinion piece about Nancy Pelosi and the fact that she won't get out of the way. She's going to end up being like Dianne Feinstein and Ruth Bader Ginsburg, that end up being a detriment to the party by not getting out of the way. Because Nancy Pelosi is older than God as well, and she ain't trying to get out of the way. Matter of fact, she already raised $3+ million for her campaign for 2024. Just a mess. A mess. Anyway, anybody, I know I saw a couple people come through the chat, and I may not have had a chance to say hey to y'all. Hey to everybody in the chat that came through. Thank y'all so much. Y'all could have been a whole lot of places, but y'all decided to rock out here with me. Thank y'all so much. I can't even promise y'all anything this weekend because I'm gonna be with my fraternity brothers turned this weekend. Please be clear, turned. If you could get your way to ladies and men, if you could get your way anywhere in the vicinity of Tampa, this is the weekend to do it because the men will be out. Ladies, you want to copy a man? I'm telling you, this is the weekend. Come to Tampa. I'm not lying to you. Listen, where's my girl Tanya? This is the weekend to be on two wheels, making your way down I-75 down to Tampa. I-75 will take you straight into Tampa, Tanya. Anyway, because we're going to have a good time this weekend partying. They've been there since Tuesday partying, and we about to keep the party going till Sunday. So, y'all, that's why I'll be this weekend partying with the greatest fraternity in the world. Also, shout out, I put this in the group members only chat. Shout out to Delta Sigma Theta, who announced their Delta Sigma Theta announced that they are honorary members that they were making this year, and they had some really good names. Let me tell you the names of who they had. So here are the names. You remember a couple months ago, they had what's her name? Fanny. Fanny became an honorary member of Sigma Gamma Rho, and she was all happy or whatever. Well, anyway, Delta Sigma Theta has announced that Ketanji Brown Jackson is now an honorary member. Yes, that's Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson is now a member of Delta Sigma Theta, along with Deborah Lee, former CEO of BET, along with Rashida Jones, president of NBC Universal, along with the president of oh God, hold on, let me look this up. Um, hold on, hold on, let me look this up so I get them all right. It's seven of them. Here we go. So we have um my internet is doing the most right now. I know you'll be in Tampa next month. Rashida Jones, I said her, who's president. Actually, Rashida Jones is president of MSNBC. Channing Dungey, who's the chairperson of Warner Brothers and the first black president of a major broadcast television network. Bonnie Jenkins, the United States Undersecretary of the State for Arms Control and International Security. Tamika Catchings, a former WNBA player who retired as the league's number one scorer. And and also, the last one was award-winning entrepreneur and leadership mentor Phyllis Newhouse, who's very popular. So that is a star-studded list of honorary members that they just brought into Delta Sigma Theta. Shout out to them. That's some black girl magic. Shout out to Katanji who could throw up her pyramid and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I heard that I know they had at one of their uh, meetings today. I saw they had Joy Reid that was there, who became an honorary member last year, I believe it was. And even though Vice President Kamala Harris is an AKA, she attended that meeting as well, and also gave a speech there at their convention. So shout out to the Delta. They're right now at their national convention as well in Indianapolis, Indiana. So yeah, shout out to them. Anyway, I done said all my pleasantries. I'm about to get out of here. I'm a whole 15 minutes over, and I said I was stopping at 6:15. Anyway, we're about to get up out of here. That's all I got for y'all. Until next time, thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out.